This is a Petmate 24-inch two-door carrier for pets up to 20 pounds. I bought this for Toby so that she can have her nails cut at the vet's. The reason I got it is because of the top door. The top door carriers are so much better for uncooperative cats, which most cats are, when they have to be put in a carrier and taken somewhere. I got this luggage strap. It's a quick release luggage strap. I got it separate because, well, I'm pretty anal when it comes to these top door carriers, the top loads, because when you're picking up the carrier with the animal in it, or just picking up the carrier, you're picking up the weight of everything by the top door. And I've always just been afraid that the door will open or just pop out, and the animal is then in danger. As a matter of fact, most carriers, that is the biggest complaint of the top load carriers, is that people have lost their animals, or their animals have been totally, not totally, but injured when the door come off, and some of them have even been killed because they've run out to a busy street when they're getting them out of the car at the vet's office or something like that. So while this particular carrier is better than any I've seen as far as top load carriers go, it seems better constructed and safer, but like I said, I'm anal, and I just like the added protection of that carrying strap of that luggage strap on there. On my carriers I use a lashing strap, but it's harder to clamp together than this thing is. So I might go ahead and buy some of these for my carriers because I like the quick release function. So anyhow, the luggage strap, you just squeeze the tabs and it opens up. To open the top door, fold back the luggage strap or remove it totally, it doesn't matter. And these little tabs here, you squeeze them together towards each other, and what it does is pull these rods out of those holes. You can see it moving. Now it's closed. Now I've got it pinched together and it's open. Let me show you on this end too. Pinch these together, and that rod down there comes out of the hole. You can't see it as well because there's a black cabinet behind this here, but now you can see it going back in. So anyhow, pinch these together and lift the door open. Put the cat in. Of course, you're going to have two hands, so you're going to be putting the cat in by the nape of the neck with one hand. You're going to use your other hand, bring the door down really quick, and hold it down while you pinch these together, and make absolutely certain that the rods go into their respective holes all the way in. Then you're all set to go. You just lash it back up. With the luggage strap. Snap it together, and that's it. It's nice and secure, and you're ready to take her to the vet. Now the front door opens in the traditional manner of almost all carriers. Put your fingers on these little knobs or metal cutouts, whatever they are, but I put my thumb here, my finger on this one down here, and you just bring them towards each other. Bring your fingers towards each other and swing the door open. And to close the door, make absolutely certain that these rods go in the appropriate hole. A lot of people are trying to put the rods through this hole and this hole. That's not what those holes are for. The holes are in here. So when you look up under here, you'll see where these rods go. There were a lot of reviews on almost all carriers where people are saying that the doors don't line up because that is not fitting in that hole. Well, that's because that's not where it goes. So when you pull your rod up, place it in the appropriate holes, make sure it's in the appropriate holes, and let go, and it's nice and secure. Alright. Also, I got Toby this Midwest 22-inch quiet time pet bed to go in the crate, because you should never ever put a cat in a carrier on its hard plastic bottom. There's several reasons for that, and one is that the cat's just going to slip and slide around once you're in the car, and it's not going to be comfortable at all. Another is that the floor is cold, and cold weather, of course. But another is that if the cat has a bowel or bladder mishap, the towel or the bed or whatever you have in there will help to absorb some of that, and the cat won't be saturated in its own urine or feces. Another reason is if your animal is injured, maybe blood, that will help to soak up some of the blood so the cat's not slipping around in the blood. Or again, if your animal is injured, then that's just more comfortable than a hard bottom. So, like I said, this is a Midwest. I think it's a 22-inch. It's the quiet time. It's an extra small 22-inch crate bed or bed or carrier bed, whatever you want to call it. But anyhow, that's going to be much more comfortable for Toby. Now, what I do at home is take off the door, or just leave the door open. Take off this door, or leave it open, and leave the carrier out as just a bed or a little hideout for my cats. All of my cats sleep in theirs all the time, so they're not afraid of them, and they don't have a whole lot of qualms about seeing them laying around until I started putting them in there and shut them in. What I do is take the door off, and I keep it behind the carrier. I keep it real close in case of an emergency. Well, it will be hard for you to do that, because in order to take this out after it's assembled, you would have to leave one of this front nut out of here, and you'd have to pry this open to get the door out. So for Toby's sake, if you're not going to just store this in the closet, if you want her to have her own little private space, you can leave the door open for her to hang out with during the day, during the night, or whatever. If it's not in the way anywhere, if you can find a place to put it for her own little private area, that would be good. But if you might just close it up and put it in the closet for safe storage where it's not going to get dirty or rusty, and it'll be handy when you have to take her. But if at all possible, leave it out somewhere so that she sees it as her own little hideaway. Okay, the next video will be on how to assemble it, because I'm going to disassemble it, do the video on how to assemble it, and then I'm going to disassemble it again and send it to you disassembled, because the box that I would have to ship this in is going to be enormous, and it's going to cost me almost as much as this carrier cost, and this was a pretty pricey carrier to begin with. So in order to cut down on the shipping cost, I'm going to disassemble it and ship it to you that way. Okay, more to come later.